Well, hello, people. This is something new you're getting from me. I'm not on camera, I'm just uploading the audio. I didn't feel like breaking out the other cameras and then transferring the footage and all of that. My camera that stays hooked up to my computer connects through a firewire cable. And I have Vegas HD home studio, but it doesn't recognize my camera although it is connected. So I'm resulting to just audio on this particular video. Anyway, getting cut into the chase, I want to address this label African American. Now, I've had some viewers that question why I don't identify myself as an African American. And I get tired of typing the same things over and over again on videos, not just about this topic, but videos. So what I do is I just go ahead and do a video to address future curiosity. Now, I have a question for you all. Have we not contributed enough to this country to be respected enough to be simply called an American? Well, I guess not, because they have chosen to remove the one-word label black and label us as a hyphenated form African American. Now, some of my comments are from black people themselves, mostly, really. And they get upset or agitated when a person says, I'm not an African American. I'm not going to call myself an African American. And they go on to form their own opinion that we don't want to be identified as such, or that we're ashamed of our heritage. And I say we because I am one of the people that don't call themselves African American or choose that label. And it's not because I'm ashamed. It is not because I wish to ignore my African heritage, if there is one. Now, you might say, well, Lovey, what do you mean if there is one? I will answer that, but first, tell me, how far back have you been able to trace your ancestors? Think about it, be honest, because I've been researching mine for a very long time. And some of you don't even know who your grandmothers are. You don't know what her name was. Your mother don't know what her name was, because she might have passed away before, while your mother or father was a baby. Let alone who your great-grandmother, great-grandfather, your great-great-grands, and so on, where they're from, and who they are, or what was their name. I hope you can see what I'm getting at. If not, let me add. We all know that a lot of our people, including us, are not 100% any race or of any ethnic background. And let me explain that in one sentence. My great-grandfather was a white man from Alabama. But because my great-grandmother was black, well, the shame wouldn't allow the census takers to record his true race. So they labeled him, her, and the children as mulatto. Label number one. For those of you that don't know what the word means, is the label they gave us black folk that were mixed with a different race. This is the first label that our people had to endure for many years, until the Almighty decided, well, let's give them the gift of a new labeled identity. Let's call them Negro. Oh yes, it didn't matter that my great-grandfather was a white man. They labeled him and the whole household Negro on a 1930 census. Now, this label is one that would get pronounced the forbidden word nigger. Oh my God, she said the word N-word. But it doesn't end there. Years later, they became colored on the census and publicly spoken. Then our next label that we were graced with changed to black. Now, this particular label seemed to stick with a lot of us, and to me, it is the most accepted label. Thank you, Almighty Name Labeler. But since we were so happy with our new name, the Mighty Name Labeler decided that we were too happy and said, look at them with that big hair. What is that? And why are these black people so happy with their new label? Oh no, we can't allow them to be happy. Let's call them Afro-Americans now. Well, black people were even happier because not only did it identify us, it identified that big hair they wore at that time, called the Afro. Well, again, the Almighty Name Labeler started to pull out his own hair in anger because his plan backfired. It didn't make us sad. It didn't divide us like he thought it would. It in fact seemed to make us closer, especially in the movement. We were even happier with it. So the Mighty Name Labeler said to himself, what is a name that will identify them, that some will accept and some won't, and have them fighting against each other again? So they labeled us with a name that identified what they stole from us, but we never had. Somewhere some of us have never been. We were not born there, but they labeled us African American. People that are so quick to get upset and call us sellouts because some of us choose not to accept that label, answer me this. 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now, when you pick up an application, and neither of these six labels that I've named are on that application, but instead a new label has been put in its place, will you bend over, kneel down, open your mouth, and reach out your hand, grab a pen, and check the box next to it like you have done all this time that they have changed our label? Or will you finally say that enough is enough, I am an American? Now maybe you can understand why I don't check that box. But I can acknowledge, for the sake of ever finding out who my ancestors were, that I am an American of African descent.